All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful webinar here with Patelco Credit Union, your financial fitness friends. Happy to see all you guys here tonight. It is going to be a wonderful webinar. It's a great Wednesday evening, and I am glad that you are all spending your Wednesday evening with us here at Patelco Credit Union. While everybody kind of trickles in, I want to go over a little bit of just general webinar etiquette with everybody. First and foremost, we do have the chat function on here as well. Feel free to use the chat for any kind of comments, suggestions, anything like that. If you are going to use the chat for questions or for any kind of comments, when you are typing in the box, there should be a little thing there for who it's going to be sent to. I think it defaults to hosts and panelists. If you could just on that drop down, change it from hosts and panelists to everyone. You guys can do that right now. Then it's already set for everyone to go. So if you have any comments, it's already ready for you. Just change that little drop down in the chat box again from hosts and panelists to everybody. We also have the Q&A feature as well. Feel free to use that for questions. I'm going to be monitoring both. So if you have thoughts, if you have opinions, if you have concerns, if you have suggestions, or any kind of questions, shoot them off, and we can hopefully get those answered for you guys. Anything that we don't get covered here on the webinar, make sure you reach out to us at webinars@patelco.org. That is our email address. We get all the emails that come in those inboxes, and we can make sure that we give you your questions answered that way as well. Just a reminder, everybody is going to be receiving a recording of tonight's presentation. We will be emailing those to everybody registered, so anybody who misses anything, or if you have to tune out early, do not fret, we got you. We're going to be emailing everybody a recording of this so they can go back and watch it later. You can also go to our YouTube channel where we'll have this uploaded as well. If you just search Patelco on YouTube, we'll have this, as well as all of our other past webinars on there, so you guys can go back and get all those great financial tidbits too. And just a reminder, we are going to be doing a $25 raffle for a few select winners on this as well. We're going to notify the winning candidates via email. So keep your eyes peeled on your email inbox, and you may be the lucky recipient of one of our $25 gift cards. So tonight's webinar, we are doing strategies to tackle debt in the new year. Debt can sometimes creep up on all of us, especially after the holiday season. So if holiday left your credit card balances a little bit more than you'd like, you can start this new year off strong by joining this webinar, which you guys have all already done. It's going to offer some great strategies to reduce your debt and keep you guys good and financially sound in the new year. Our presenter tonight, we have got back in the house, the incomparable, wonderful Veronica Dangerfield. Veronica brings an engaging and thought-provoking enthusiasm to all of her webinars. She is a financial educator with us here at Patelco Credit Union. She is also an award-winning international speaker. She is a published poet. She is a professional comedian. Her laundry list of accomplishments is endless. And what you guys are going to remember and take away from this webinar, not only are the great practical tools and advice that she gives you, but also how much fun you guys have learning. You're going to be armed with some key takeaways that are going to shift your thinking and impact your financial life. So, Veronica, take it away.
Well, I thank you so much, Mr. Andrew. You are awesome. And that was such a warm reception. So thank you very much. And hey, everybody, happy 2025. I am privileged and honored to be with you today. And I promise I got a lot of really good tactics so that we can liberate ourselves from debt. We can pay less interest. We can reduce our stress. We can go forward in getting financial security, increase that credit score, and stop credit card spending, which is you're actually spending into the future. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for taking care of your financial health and taking the time out of your busy day for this precious hour. So yay. And I wanted to talk about what Patelco's promise is. And our promise is to help you manage effectively. When you feel confident and you have a plan to reduce your debt, it's going to make you feel good because we repeat behaviors that make us feel good. And then you can be resilient. Resilient is so important. I had 4 flat tires in 6 weeks. The flat tire goddess was not happy with me, but because I saved for my car, I was able to be resilient, and that financial hiccup wasn't a financial catastrophe. And then seize opportunities. Where were you traveling to this year? I am going to be traveling for the entire month of June throughout Europe. So because I've got some pretty good financial habits, I can seize opportunities and rise up to whatever you want to do, to your own financial dream. My name is Veronica Dangerfield. My comedy line is, I'm Rodney's only Black child. I'm telling you, that joke has an expiration date and it's coming up pretty fast. I'm really excited. I've been teaching at Patelco for almost 20 years. And the reason I'm on this planet is to teach about money and to preach self-compassion. The whole consumerism is challenging for our prehistoric brains. So I want you to know that it is not your fault if you have challenges with credit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a lot of really good ideas. And you can send me an email, you can text me, so that as a community, together, we can do this. And guess what else, you guys? I am going to be the mother of the groom. Yes, a wedding. So I went and I got a personal trainer. First time I've ever done this before. But if I wanted to be better than if I wanted to be the best, I want to be the best right, mother. I want to be able to be on the dance floor, and I want to close the party down, which requires me to invest in my future self and to start exercising. Now, exercising was hard until I made the decision. Once I made the decision, it was no longer hard. So today, make the decision that you're going to reduce your debt and things are going to go a lot easier for you. And I wanted to tell you, I brought in a couple of experts. This lady's name is Wendy De La Rosa, and she was on Dan Harrison's podcast, 10% Happier. And I was totally inspired by this lady. You know why? She says that we have an internalized belief that we play a role in our debt, but our environment really impacts us. Marketing and consumerism has designed things to make us feel like a failure. So what I'm going to talk about is, I'm going to talk about some environmental things that we can do to change our trajectory, as well as tactical things you can do. She says that debt is not a personal moral failure. Debt is not a personal moral failure. Debt is a human experience. So we're going to talk about changing the environment a little bit. She talks about there's 2 major issues that cause people to suffer, and that is divorce and healthcare. And when people suffer for years, and again, it's not a moral failure, and we don't talk about that enough. So if you get an opportunity, check out Wendy De La Rosa. She's a TED talker, and she's a economics. She does neuroeconomics. So she talks about being human with money, which means it's a little bit difficult for us to not spend as a consumer. So now I want to talk about this flower. You guys, this is called the corpse flower. It is the biggest flower in the world, and it's very rare. There's only 100 of them left. And although it looks like a beautiful flower, it is biologically designed to be insectivorous, which means that this plant eats insect. And when the insects are flying around, they think that they smell barbecue. And they come to this plant. Why? Because all of their systems, everything tells them that this plant is going to be amazing. And when they land on the plant, they become dinner. So although it looks beautiful, it's rare, it's exotic, when the insect lands on it, it cannot help but to be attracted by it because both of them were biologically designed to feed on each other. Which brings me to the point of your environment right now. When you are on your phones, when you're watching TV, when you're driving around with social media, everything is supporting you to spend. We've got email marketing. Right now, I'm looking for a mother of the groom dress. And now, every time I pick up my phone, I get 5, 6, 7 retailers relentlessly pursuing me to buy their dress. So remember, if you have, so what you want to do is you want to understand that because of all the impact that marketing has on you, it's almost extremely difficult to not spend. And we're spending a lot of money on housing, transportation, and food. If you can cut down on those 3 expenses, but in the Bay Area, we know that it's a little bit hard. But what I'd like you to do is I would like you to get a handle on those small expenses. Set a maximum amount of money that you're going to spend on snacks and low price items. Once you set the maximum, stick to your plan. According to NerdWallet, the average cost of groceries in 1 month is about $540. It's gone up 6% since last year. So if you can figure out how to get a handle on those smaller expenses, it makes it a little bit easier. And then also, you have to protect your environment. And this is what you have to do. You have to go to Amazon and you have to go to all those places that store your credit card information, and you have to take it off. Why? Because we're counting on you to be too lazy to go back and put that in every single time that you want to shop. It's called getting a barrier, having a barrier to shopping. And also, if you have the food apps, the Uber Eats, the Grubhubs, take them off your cell phone. This is also making sure that the environment that you're in is also supported for your long-term financial health. And also get the ad blockers and go incognito when you are shopping. So now we're not going to have an official poll on this one. And I want to talk a little bit about your net worth. Because when you reduce your debt, you will increase your net worth. Now, your net worth is a snapshot of your whole financial picture. It is a measure of your financial standing. When you cut back on spending and you reduce expenses on high-cost items and you pay down your debt, your net worth increases. And how do you increase your net worth? Well, let me tell you how. You can increase your assets, decrease your liabilities, and cut back on your spending. And as you decrease your liabilities, you can use that income to increase your assets. And then you will have a perfect snapshot of where you are today. And I encourage you to get your net worth statement and write it down. You know why? It will really make you feel motivated. And now I wanted to get to one of our fundamentals. you know what our fundamental is going to be. Oh, on the chat, you guys know what I'm going to say. It allows you not to live paycheck to paycheck. It allows you to prioritize yourself and make sure that you are your financial priorities and not your bills. Okay, here we go. Pay yourself first. You pay yourself first. You get the first 10% of all the money that you get, and you put it in your secret, sacred, safe, separate, secure savings account. When we start paying ourselves first, we can make sure we have that emergency account funded. And if we have a financial hiccup, it can stay a hiccup and not be a catastrophe. And again, a little bit of more fundamentals. You need an emergency account because if you become unemployed, it's going to supplement your income for urgent medical procedures, home for repairs, unforeseen auto repairs, or disability. So make sure that when you fund your emergency fund, you prevent this from happening. An anticipated unplanned expenses become an unprepared borrower. And we don't want to have an unprepared borrower. So now I want you to guys, in the chat, I want you to write down what your life would be if you did not have to pay debt. What could you do with that money if you decided today that we're going to get rid of this debt in the next 2 years, and you are going to ride off into sunset in Hawaii? What would you do if you did not have any debt? Oh, can afford to move out of your mom's house and create emergency save, travel more, yay. Start a business. Just think about it, you guys. All we have to do is figure this out collectively as a group. It's not that hard to do. But the first thing I want you to understand is that if you have debt, that is not your fault. It's not a moral failing. You just have to make sure that you're positive, that you stay on top of things, and that you use some of the wonderful recommendations so that you deserve to be happy. You guys, life is just so short. Never give up what you want most for what you want today. Wendy De La Rosa talked a lot about our future selves. You know, she said our future selves are bigger and better and tougher than ourselves are right now. So what you can do with that is your future self. Right now, it's almost tax season. Everybody within the sound of my voice, say, I am going to use half of my tax returns to pay off my debt. You have a bonus coming up? I'm going to use half of my bonus to pay off my debt. See, if you make the commitment early, because the person you are right now doesn't have to do anything. So you don't have to do anything. But if you make the commitments into the future, you have like a 75 or 80% chance of actually paying those debts with the future money that comes in. Because you know what? Your future self is absolutely stellar. Yes. Have you heard that today? Have you heard how wonderful you are today? How hardworking you are today? Where you are amazing. And we're going to now talk about some spending foundations. We're going to be talking about debt, but also we're going to balance that out. We're going to track our spending. We're going to budget for our shopping trips. We're going to record purpose expenditures. We're going to justify exceptions, and we're going to have a subordinate budget. Whenever we use our credit card from now on, we're going to write it down so that we don't forget that we're spending. This is the spending foundations, because once you get to your spending foundations, you can start paying off debt. So how much debt is too much? So we have our queen here. Her salary is about $4,000. She has a Sephora card, a MasterCard, a Macy's card, and a car loan, and her total amount is $725. And you divide that into 4,000. She's 18% in debt, and that is considered very, very good. So this is your debt to income ratio. You take your total amount of monthly debt, and you can do this after this webinar, and then you're going to divide it by your gross monthly income. So now we're talking about having a debt ceiling. You know, if you're 30% or below, you're doing really good. If you're 36 between 49, you're in the yellow zone. And then if you're in your high debt, 50% or more, you need to go and with a very, very stringent budget, and maybe stop any expenses that are extra and start selling stuff in your house so that you can decrease your debt to income calculation. This will help you feel more secure in the future. This will help you have a ceiling so you know exactly how much debt you have, and also it promotes discipline, it mitigates financial stress, it supports long-term goals, and it builds resilience. Right on. So this is a debt calculator. If any of you want a copy of the debt calculator, please send me an email at webinar@patelco.com, and I will send you this. This is an amazing thing because you can put different dates in, different rates in, and different amounts in, and you can come up with a date where you are going to be able to pay off your debt. And now, and just to think how to stay motivated, take it one day at a time. Surround yourself with positivity, create a vision board, make smart goals, reward yourself, believe in yourself, recognize your progress, be kind to yourself, and don't compare yourself to others. Why? Because comparison is the thief of all joy. So now we're going to start talking about a few of the tactics. We have the snowball, where you pay off your debt from smallest to largest. When you ditch the smallest debt first, you see your progress really quickly and you have hope. And the second one and then this one isn't for you to actually have, it's not going to save you the most money, but if you're motivated to see the debts go faster, you will love the snowball method. And another way you can also do that is the 50-50 plan. The 50-50 plan is whenever you get any extra money, 50% goes to debt, 50% goes to spend. Okay, and then we have here the power paying. Power paying is a very effective method for reducing debt. Power pay involves taking the payment amount of a debt that has been paid off and applying that amount to another debt. This continues till all debts are paid off. Paying the extra on debt with the highest interest rate will, of course, save you the most money. However, eliminating a bill can be motivating. For that reason, counselors can also recommend paying off the smallest debt first. So the debt snowball, you see the success of your efforts and encourage you to keep going. And this method may stretch the debt elimination time for a few years, and then we have the debt avalanche. The debt avalanche pays off the highest interest rate first. How many of you guys would love the debt avalanche? Because you end up saving more money. You will achieve debt-free status quicker and pay less in interest. But the downside is you might lose motivation quicker. The first few wins may be slow to come and pretty far apart. Next, we have the blizzard. The blizzard is you pay down something with a large check. Remember we talked about earlier, making a commitment with your future self? Well, then you can use it for your taxes, if you have any inheritances, and if you have any bonuses, you can use the blizzard. And also we have the snowflakes. No amount is too small. You can pay more frequently, and you can also pay immediately. One of the things that Monica recommended is that instead of paying your credit cards monthly, to pay them weekly. Paying them weekly does two things. First of all, it encourages you, so you can see the amounts go down lower. And the second wonderful thing is amortization. Because you're making frequent payments on the bills, you decrease your interest. Because remember, when a credit card is amortized, it pays the principal, and then it pays the interest, and then the interest builds back up again. But if you're spanking that dollar, you're paying that interest 4 times a month versus once a month. In the long term, you end up saving money. So then we also have the snowball, the avalanche, the blizzard, and the snowflakes. The snowball, the lowest balance first, avalanche, the highest interest rate first, blizzard, any large checks that you receive, and the snowflakes, small amounts of money matter. Okay, so you have that. Or you can, how many of you guys have thought about actually consolidating your loan? So when you can, if you can consolidate a loan, you can make one payment versus multiple payments. The only challenge is, when I was a loan officer back in San Mateo Credit Union, I've worked for 3 credit unions in my 25-year history. But when I did loan consolidations and I paid off most people's bill, what happened was they had the consolidation bill and they went out and they spent money right back up again. So make sure that if you get a debt consolidation, that you make a commitment to yourself not to go out and use the same credit cards again, because that is going to stop your progress. Hey, Andrew.
Hi, Veronica. Had a really good question in the Q&A that I wanted to toss your way. So Clara had asked, what are some effective methods for building a positive mindset around debt repayment that encourages persistence and resilience in the face of setbacks? And I thought you'd be the perfect person to answer this
woman. I love this woman. The thing is the mindset. I think that most people, when they're trying to have a big financial goal, they end up getting they put perfection before progress. Guess what? You're going to have some hiccups. Guess you're going to do the moonwalk financially every once in a while, but you still have to get back and start again. So I would say talk positive to yourself. I would also say know that you're not going to be perfect, and know that you're going to have a setback, but have a plan that once you actually fall off the wagon, that you immediately get back on again. I heard a saying that getting from 0 to 1 is the hardest thing. So when you fall off, you have to get back on again. But I love the question. I love how conscientious you are, because what we're talking about here is not easy. It's not easy. But again, having debt is not a moral failure. It is, we live in an environment that has manipulated our mind to actually make spending feel good. So do some of the taxes, make sure you don't have your credit cards, that you don't, that if you want to shop, get money on a prepaid card that has a balance of only $100.
Yeah, great tips. Great answer there. One other question I actually saw popping in the chat as well while you were answering that, that someone else also asked in the Q&A. I'm hoping that you can shine a little bit of light on this too. People are basically asking kind of what the, to go a little bit more in depth on the advantages and disadvantages of the debt repayment strategy. So if you have any tips on when it might be a good idea to do snowball versus avalanche, or kind of how you can look at your debt and make that decision for yourself.
So it depends upon the person. I personally like to have lots of prizes. I like to, I'm very motivated, I'm very competitive. So I love the snowball, because once I see one bill go, I'm gonna get really excited. And then I'm gonna go to the other. But I know you, Andrew, you do not like paying interest, you know? So you are gonna definitely start with the highest interest first, and you don't care if it takes longer because you're saving money. So it's all personal. You have to figure out what is going to keep you motivated, what is going to keep you in the game. You cannot be perfect because you're not perfect. You're perfectly made, but you're having a human experience, and there are going to be setbacks. But just because there are setbacks happen, that does not mean that you're going to give up. Right, you guys? We're not going to give up, right?
Right. Thank you very much, Veronica. Also, before we resume back to your webinar, do you mind letting us know the name of that book that you recommended at the beginning as well, so I can plug that in the chat? A couple people asked for that.
It is called You Need a Budget. It's called You Need a Budget, and the guy's name is Jesse Makem. He says, give every dollar a job, embrace your true expenses, roll with the punches, and age your money. I like that. Increase the time between earning and spending, and finally break that paycheck to paycheck cycle. He talks pretty extensively about it, and I love the book. So if you get an opportunity, check it out at the library.
Awesome. And if anybody is looking for that, I'm adding that to the chat right now, so you guys can copy and paste that and do your homework. Thank you so much, Veronica. Continue.
Right. So in order to stay motivated, we're also going to make sure we have a payoff date. I have a car. I bought a car last March, and I'm telling you, having a car loan really, really bugs me, because I didn't have a car loan for like 6 years, and then I had one. So I had to get the payoff date, and I'm going to pay it off a lot earlier. But the payoff date makes you motivated to continue on this arduous cycle. And another tactic is cash only. The cash only, you put the credit card away. It has an automatic stopgap. No immediate gratification. Yes to savings, and yes to budgeting. Andrew is going to do a podcast, and he is going to talk about having a cash-free month. What is it called? No spend month. He's going to have a no spend month, and he's going to talk about it. And I'm considering getting on the board. Make sure that you listen to his podcast. It's coming up, I think, this month. And stop spending cash. It increases your awareness so much that you'll find all the money that you need to save to go on that vacation that you deserve, that you've been looking forward to. And also we have the 0 APR annual percentage rate balance transfer. This can immediately, if you're carrying a balance on your credit card, this immediately makes it to 0. Sometimes the balance transfer limits can be lower than your credit limit, which means that you can't do all of it. You have to watch out for the fees, because what happens sometimes, you'll have to pay the interest rate first. So 3 to 5%. So you've already paid the interest, but you got to make sure that you never, ever, ever miss a payment. Because if you miss a payment, not only are they going to increase your APR, but there are also penalties. Okay, so this is one of the things you can do, but be extremely cognizant and aware, because if you make any mistakes, you lose everything. So remember that if you're going to do a balance transfer, I really recommend it, especially if you can get zero, if you can take the whole amount. I think the average credit card interest rate right now is 18.99. If you can go to 18.99 to zero, massive savings, massive. So make sure that if you get an opportunity to have a balance transfer, you can do it. And also, side hustles. There's no downsides to side hustles. You can just increase your income. Also, look around your house. It's the beginning of the new year. You can unload a lot. Remember, your trash is somebody else's treasure, and you're only limited by your imagination. Oh, this is the one, the no spend month. Andrew's going to talk about. It allows you to avoid impulse purchases. You're more conscious about your spending. It encourages creativity and problem solving, and also a 30-day wait to contemplate purchases. So we should all be doing that. I know I'm going to be in line, because I know that I would save a ton of money if I had a no spend month. So what I wanted to encourage you again, that if you're in debt, it's not your fault. It's your responsibility to get out. That the environment that has been created for you to spend, they have gamified your credit cards now. So and also they're gamifying everywhere to make you stay longer, because the longer you stay, the more prone you are to spend. So create barriers to spending, use cash only, understand that you are a victim of consumerism, that it's very, very hard, but if you set up your environment, you set up your tactics, you got your offense and your defense, like I know how to talk about football, okay? You'll definitely be ready. Give yourself a break, practice forgiveness, aim for progress and not perfection. Can you guys do that? Aim for progress, but not perfection? Right on. Again, pay your bills weekly. Sometimes it's a pain, but there's 52 weeks in a year. You'll end up paying a couple of extra payments, and then you can actually see your bills go away. And be patient when becoming someone you haven't been before. Like I said, this is a journey, and it's not an easy one, but it's something that we can do, because we create what we pay attention to. And where energy goes, energy flows. And just think, you're paving a way for your future self to have a safe and happy life. I think about old lady Dangerfield a lot. She wants to be an international bag lady, just a couple of credit cards, and free as the wind. In fact, I was talking to old lady Dangerfield the other day, and you know what she told me? She didn't want to have luggage. She just wants to go from country to country, buy her outfits there, and just leave, you know? So what are you doing right now to promote your future self? What are you going to give your future self by the movements and the choices that you are making today, so that you can have the life of your dreams? So you guys, let's make a deal. Remember Monty Hall? Andrew, you don't remember Monty Hall, do you? He was on that show. Oh, they still have Let's Make a Deal. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know Monty Hall. I know the Monty Hall problem. We've had a whole discussion about the hypotheticals of it. I'm deep in the Monty Hall lore.
So let's make a deal. Commit to saving money from the future today. So when you're making decisions in the future, It gives your present person a break, because you may not be able to do it now, but your future self is always perfect in the future. So you're going to take those tax refunds and pay off your debt. You're going to use your bonuses and your windfalls and your extra savings because you're on a budget. Andrew did an excellent webinar on predictions and broadcasting for your budgeting. So it's beautiful. Go check him out. So do something today that your future self will thank you for. My future self is thanking me for going to the gym, because now I can get out of a chair. It ain't easy being cheesy, but you just gotta do it. And remember, you guys, your mind will always believe everything you tell it. So feed it hope and feed it truth and feed it love. So takeaways, remember, why is the compass for purposeful and intentional spending? Determine how to keep and maintain motivation for your financial goals. Choose your payoff method: the volcano, the avalanche, the snowball, the blizzard, and the snowflake. And congratulate yourself. And make this a motivational journey for you. And know that if you set the environment up, you use the right amount of tactics, you can experience more success and and increase your financial well-being extraordinarily. So be stronger than your strongest excuse. I talk so fast, Andrew. I am at the end. Do we have any other questions?
A couple of things I wanted to address. First and foremost, there were a couple of questions in the chat that popped up, people asking questions kind of about their own specific situations, if this credit card that they have is a good idea, or if this debt consolidation option, refinancing, XYZ is a good idea. I love that everybody is thinking about these kind of outside the box or kind of strategies to try to get themselves out of debt and seeing what they already have that can help their debt relief process. For these questions, I do want to let everyone know it's kind of hard to answer them in like a blanket statement because everybody's credit situation is different. Everyone's debt to income ratio is different. And these things normally do require a little bit more investigative work into kind of what your current situation is. Anybody who asked a question like that, I super highly encourage you guys to either stop into one of our branches. You can make an appointment online at any of the branches that are close to you, or you can just do a walk-in. Conversely, if you are far from a branch, or maybe you just are, feeling comfy on your couch and don't feel like leaving, you can also visit our virtual branch that's done fully online on Zoom, just like this. You can make an appointment there, or also do a virtual branch walk-in. All of these resources are found just on our website. You can go to our branch list or our virtual branch. And if you talk to one of our super highly knowledgeable bankers or specialists, they can point you in a direction that is more specific to your own situation and caters more to your financial needs than what we're able to give on just kind of this webinar here. So I definitely encourage everybody to look in those resources, and we can hopefully get you on the right path. There is.
And Jane asked real quickly, where to find the zero APR cards. I just Google them, zero APR, and there's a big list that's going to come up.
Yeah. We also have with Patelco, if anybody does not already have one of our standard pure credit cards, if you're able to get approved for that, then we can do 0% balance transfers on the first 6 months, as long as you initiate the balance transfer within the first 90 days of opening the card, which is a great product that we have as well to do some like credit card debt consolidation. Again, you can talk to any of our bankers about those as well to get a little bit more details on that, but that's something that we can offer. There is another question. Clara came in clutch with another good question here in the Q&A that I'm hoping I can pick your brain on a little bit. She's wondering how psychological factors such as stress or anxiety that's related to debt can affect like decision-making processes regarding the debt repayment strategies.
That's such a great question. And it does affect your emotional and mental being. But that is why Wendy De La Rosa that we were talking about, she advises that you talk about finances with your friends, that you get out of the secret mode and you share, because when you share, maybe I can tell you something because I've been through the same situation that you have. So we have to, as a society, get away from keeping our money secrets and start sharing so that a rising tide lifts all boats. Wouldn't you agree, Andrew?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think the more that you talk about something and the more you're transparent about things, the less power it has and the less kind of
Right.
ability it has to make you feel anxious and stressed or shamed or anything like that. So talk about it, be open, be transparent. Other people are probably having the same anxieties that you are. The more you talk
Everybody
about it,
is.
yes, and the more you keep
Yeah.
it on the forefront, the less power it has over you, for sure.
Absolutely, because debt is a human problem. You know, our
Mhm.
United States is trillions of dollars in debt right now. So when humans get together with money, because the way our brains are wired, we make decisions that require a little bit of support. That is why I talk to my children nonstop about money. They are so sick of hearing me about money.
Well, we're not sick of you here, Veronica. We can never get
Oh,
sick of you
oh.
here.
Well, I'm going to give you your time back this evening, but I want to thank you so much for taking care of your financial health, for coming here. Our next webinar is going to be on love and money, and I'm going to be bringing a CPA, Eric, and he is amazing. And then we're also going to be talking about saving strategies. So we are here to focus on your financial well-being so you can increase your capacity, so you can have the best, funnest life ever.
Woo! Just one more reminder for anybody, if your questions were not answered here today or you have any additional questions, opinions, thoughts, concerns, feedback, whatever, we've got that email address right on the screen here, right next to Veronica's lovely picture, webinars@patelco.org. We would love to hear from you. And yeah, any individual one-off questions about your own debt repayment situations, visit a branch, visit our virtual branch, make an appointment. Any one of our people can help you out and get you on a good path. So thank you guys all for tuning in tonight.
Thank you,
And
Nancy and Rebecca and Joanne. Thank you guys all. Have a wonderful evening.
we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. Want more financial advice? Make sure you watch the video here. And want to hit that subscribe button for more financial deliciousness? Hit that button here.